we live in a world that has unfortunately normalized dysfunction. Things that are unhealthy in relationships are being called acceptable, normal. Everybody does it. F all that, all right? I'm sorry, but no, that is unacceptable. We've got to stop pushing these false perceptions on what is okay. Because at the end of the day, the reality is this: there are common behaviors or traits of healthy relationships. And without that, you can't overlook those things, or you can't think that everything's gonna be okay when these things are missing. So what are some of these signs you're in a healthy relationship? Well, number one, you can talk to each other. And not just talk to each other about fun little conversations. I'm talking about talk to each other about anything, any and everything. So many people come to me, and when I say, well, why don't you talk to your partner? Well, I tried talking to them. And my next question is, well, why the hell are you still with them if you can't talk to them? If
The thing to me, one of the very, very main things to me in a healthy relationship, if you want to call your relationship healthy, you got to have good communication skills. You got to be able to talk to your partner about anything and everything, even the things in the closet. You got to talk about it. And if you're not just talking about the good things, I'm saying talk about the bad things. If we're not agreeing on something, I don't agree with you, you don't agree with me on something, we got to get to some kind of mutual agreement, and we got to just get rid of that problem by communicating. And I'm talking about healthy communicating, not fussing, not yelling, screaming, or ignoring. That's very bad, to ignore someone when you need to be talking. So a healthy relationship would include very good communication skills. Somebody got to give, either the man or the woman. Somebody got to be quiet and listen. And then the next partner need to be quiet and listen. And then you need to come to a mutual agreement on your situation that's going on at that time. Don't just push it under the rug and think you can go back to it later, because it does damage the relationship.
if every attempt is met with resistance, all right, and let me be clear, your attempts are in a very loving and calm manner, because if you're coming attacking your partner, that's not going to create a healthy environment. But if you're coming at them the right way and they refuse, that's a problem. All right. So you have to understand that when you two can talk to each other, this is the sign of a healthy relationship. And you both want to be mindful of making sure that the environment is created early on in the dating process. Now, listen, if you're already deep into the relationship, it's never too late to make the communication better. All right. And so you have to sit down and really get out on the table what may have been the roadblocks and concerns in order for you two to now get to a better place in that area. But you got to pay attention to that, because there is no relationship that will thrive and succeed in the long run without healthy communication. And again, it's healthy communication, not lashing out at each other, not constant arguing, which we're going to talk a little bit about more as we go along, but really healthy, open, honest, transparent communication. All right. And so one thing I do want to give a little tip or tool with is make designated time to talk if necessary. If you guys maybe haven't always been exactly on the same page, or maybe you get caught up in life, all right, and you're not talking the way that you used to, or the way that you need to, have designated times to talk. The same way we have date night, we can have talk hour. You know, it's like, all right, hey, on Fridays at 8, we eliminate the distractions, and it's just, we get a chance to just talk to each other. Just let each other know what's going on, to go over things. I also suggest things like relationship checkups, which is very good for keeping the relationship healthy and keep it going, where you guys, again, have a designated time where you get to sit down and address all the things that you enjoy, don't enjoy, all of that. But bottom line, to get back to the point, being able to talk to each other is definitely.
Okay, I agree with Stephen Speaks. You should have a designated time to talk. We like to just lash out and talk when we want to. But if you two are alone in the car and a situation come up, I think you should go ahead and jump in and talk about that right then. Sometimes it's not the right time to talk. Your partner could be sick, your partner could be upset about something, your partner could be going through something, had a hard day at work, and it's just not the right time to talk. But you both should share that with each other. I don't want to talk right now. Can we talk later tonight or after a while? Give me a few minutes to catch my breath. I just got off work. I had a hard day. That's communication, and that's healthy communication. If it's not the right time to talk, you got people around or kids around or you're in the store, then save that for your private time or set that time like Stephen Speaks said, set that time when you want to talk. And talking and communicating doesn't always mean it's something bad going on in your relationship. It could also be some good things that you want to share with your partner. So let's don't make it be about the bad things going on in life. It can also be the good things going on in life, things that you want to share with your partner about a promotion or something new you want to start doing, a new project or something like that. So we just got to keep that in mind, with it being like a healthy relationship. And another thing that I want to add to this is we should start early in the relationship before we get married, before we get into a serious relationship. Start while you're dating, when you're getting to know each other. Set up that pattern of communication time and talking. That way you get to know your partner better and you get to know what they like and they get to know what you like, and they get to know how you like to do it. They get to know exactly how you like to communicate for that healthy relationship.
A sign that you're in a healthy relationship. Second sign that you're in a healthy relationship is you have shared values. Now, again, here's something that I notice a lot of people trying to skip this step, all right? And feeling like, well, okay, even though we don't want the same things, we get along great. Maybe we do communicate very well, all right? So it shouldn't be a big deal. And these disconnects or these unshared values can sometimes be spiritual beliefs, all right? Sometimes it could be, well, one person believes in marriage and the other person not so much, okay? There's various things that can create disconnects with our beliefs, right? But again, I see many attempting to push past that. And the warning I want to give you is that it's going to come back to haunt you. We cannot look at healthy relationships just in the sense of, am I happy right now? Am I quote unquote good right now? It's, can I be good and happy years from now? And this is where shared values plays a huge role, because when we have that disconnect, at some point, it rises to the surface and now creates a lot of friction in the relationship. And again, using the example of spiritual beliefs, I always say, like, sometimes, let's say you have someone who is Christian and someone who is Muslim, and they're together. And let's say initially they're both very passive believers. Like they identify by those things, but they're not huge into the practices and the beliefs of those spiritual religions or beliefs, whatever. But then at some point in the relationship, someone becomes much more passionate or wants to become more disciplined in their faith. And then this is when it starts to create a problem. Because, for example, well, if I'm saying, well, we need to do it this way because my spiritual beliefs practices this, and that doesn't connect with your partner because they're on a completely different page, now we have a conflict. And that conflict and an unwillingness to get on the same page because our beliefs don't allow us to can create resentment, can create animosity, and it just opens the door to all kinds of other issues. And again, just to use one more example, let's talk about the whole marriage or not getting married. Some people say, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper, which I don't agree with that ideology, but some people think like that, whereas others do want marriage. It's important to them. But one, that person, typically the one who wants marriage, may trick themselves into believing, well, I can be okay with this. It's not a big deal. I really like this person. I'll be fine. But again, at some point, it starts to really bother you. At some point, if you're honest with yourself, you were really just hoping they would eventually come around to it. And now when they don't, you become resentful. It becomes a huge problem. It creates a fight. But then also, it creates a dynamic where you don't want to walk away because you've invested so much time and energy, but you feel very unhappy by the fact that this person does not want to marry you. And that alone, whether you stay or not, is going to create a lot of problems.
This will create lots of problems. If your partner do not want to get married and you want to get married and you're pushing the issue, but they're running away from it, this can create a big problem and resentment, like Stephen said. So we have to communicate about these things. Do I want to stay because he or she is not ready and don't want that? A lot of times, if you got a really good person and you're praying and seeking God about, is this the person for me to marry? And is this my ideal mate? Sometimes you have to be more patient than you think you have to be, because I'm noticing in life there are lots of women and men that have been married before. And when they hear that word marriage, it is scary to them. And they're not only looking at their past, but they're looking at what they had to go through when they went through that divorce or big breakup after a long period of time and it didn't work. So my thing is, don't rush it. Take your time, get to know each other as much as possible. And some people get married after knowing each other in 2 months. Some people get married after knowing each other in 2 years. Some people get married longer after knowing each other. And some people just stay in long-term relationships. I heard from a man one time, they said, everything was going good when we were dating, courting, and just together. But as soon as we got married, everything changed. I don't know why, but if somebody would please comment down below some things that changed from when you were dating for all those years and courting until you got to that marriage part. If you could just comment how things changed. I know people change when you live with them, and the longer you get to know them, the more you find out about them, which is a good thing. But I'm not going to say if not getting married is good. I'm not going to say getting married is good, and it is, because the Bible speaks of that. But I just say, if you put God first, everything will work out. And nobody is perfect. Nobody. Whoever you choose to be in a long-term relationship, whoever you choose to marry, let's go ahead and get this straight right now. No two people are alike. The person you divorce is not going to be like the person who you're with now. The person who you dated the last time is not going to be like the person you're with now. No two people are alike. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody comes from different places. Sometimes people have different cultures and beliefs. And like Stephen said, their spirituality is different. So you got to be able to face those differences and go with it and come to a mutual agreement of how you're going to handle it before you even get to the marriage part. Once you get a lot of those kinks worked out, I think it can be better for your healthy relationship.
So again, when we're in a healthy relationship, we share values, and it's important that we we are mindful of that early on to ensure or to increase the chances of long-term success in this relationship. Now, the third sign you are in a healthy relationship is that you can disagree, but not disrespect. All right. So there are some people who have pushed the idea that arguing is healthy. Now, I've noticed some have explained it as essentially disagreement is healthy. And I believe that disagreement is okay. We're not going to always see eye to eye. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're talking about arguing in the sense of negative energy being introduced into the conversation, disrespectful talk, being dismissive, hell, in some situations, unfortunately, getting physical, which that should never be accepted. But when we cross these negative lines, this is not healthy. There's nothing okay about that. And I don't care, and let me not say I don't care. I do not want you to allow the fact that you may have seen other families or the family that you grew up in, other friends engage in this behavior, and because they're still together, oh, well, it's not a big deal. No, it is a problem. It is a big deal. You cannot allow that level of negativity to enter into your relationship. And you have to understand that when we cross disrespectful lines, when we're having disagreements, we're planting negative seeds that will now become other big issues later on. When we allow ourselves to get disrespectful, we will say things that we regret. And the problem is, you can't take back what you said. And what you said may now penetrate that person, your partner's spirit, your partner's mind in a way that replays over and over, and again, sends everything else going left. Now, I understand we will all make mistakes. And so a mistake doesn't mean you're in a toxic relationship, right? But if you're engaging in this constantly, in this disrespectful arguing, this disrespectful behavior, this negative behavior, that is a problem. But again, when we can disagree, when we can discuss our difference of opinions and perceptions, and we can try to understand each other, this is what is healthy. This is what we need for success. Again, we may not always see eye to eye, but we can walk away still embracing each other, loving each other, and respecting each other, and never allowing our differences to take us to a very bad place.
Negative energy. We all go through that. We are always going to have some good days and some bad days. The thing that can really set this thing straight is, now this is my opinion, is to always remember to respect your partner. You both have to respect each other. That means I don't care how upset I get, I'm not going to say anything to belittle you or hurt you. If I know it's going to hurt you, I need to just shut up and zip my mouth. That tongue is very powerful. Be careful what you say, because we do forgive. As women and men, we do forgive our partners. But forgetting what was said is still in the back of our mind, that when we have a disagreement and things are not going the way we think it ought to go, and we lash out and we say very hurtful and bad things to each other, somewhere down the line it comes back. And it might happen from time to time, but be careful with your tongue and what you say. And please do apologize to your partner. That means a lot. That way, if they do go back to that situation months or years from now, you can say, look, I apologize to you. I told God to forgive me, and I want us to move past that. And you got to move past that. And from now on, you got to think. You got to respect your partner. How can you build a healthy relationship, something healthy and good with someone that you don't even respect? Don't run off and tell those friends, them so-called friends, and some of them so-called family members, so that your business will get all around, and then it get back to you, and then everybody have a certain feeling about you. That's why it's so important to communicate and work it out within your home. Very good.
Now, the fourth sign you are in a healthy relationship is that you support and encourage each other. All right. One of the biggest killers of relationship is a lack of support from both sides. All right. And a lack of encouragement. We want a partner who believes in us. We want a partner who has our back. They understand how to talk about that in a way that doesn't just crush your partner's dreams. It doesn't just, dismiss how they're feeling. It simply provides perspective, but with love. Perspective that is just trying to help guide them to making the best decision possible, right? But we still understand the need to, again, have each other's back and encourage each other. And listen, if you cannot encourage and support your partner, because I already hear some of y'all in my ear saying, well, my partner needs to do something to make me feel like I can support what they want to do. You don't know my partner. They want to do all this crazy stuff. All right, well, listen, then the problem is, why are you with someone that you don't believe in? Why are you with someone that you can't get behind? There might be a bigger issue here, all right? But ultimately, you cannot continue this relationship without learning how to support and encourage each other. So
Now, my take on that, how can your relationship, how can your relationship even be healthy if you can't encourage and support each other? That is the main reason why you either got married and said, I do, or you committed to a long term relationship. You got to be able to support and you got to be able to encourage your partner. This goes both ways. Women, I've heard, time and time again, family members, friends say, well, my husband, he never encouraged me. He never supports me. He never say nice things to me. Well, some people tend to bring a few things that they seen in their growing up stages with their parents or grandparents or whoever they were raised by or around, and they just don't have that unconditional love like you might have. But what if you start showing your partner how to be a better person at showing love and affection and encouragement, and just be, if you be there for him and you say nice things to him, and you want him to reciprocate that kind of love, but you got to let him know. You can't just expect things from people. Everybody was raised different, but it's okay. That's where communication comes in. You share with your partner. You tell your partner, look, I love to hear I love you, you're beautiful, or you're handsome, or you smell good, oh, you look nice today, I'm glad you're my man, I'm glad you're my woman. All kinds of things to show affection. And you should encourage them. Oh, honey, I know you're working, you're going back to school, and I'm so proud of you. And I know when you get this degree, I'm going to help you and I'm going to be by your side. Or, honey, I like the way you're dressing. I love it. It makes you look so sexy, or it makes you look so handsome. Or just show that you love that person by saying nice and sweet romantic things to them, and by encouraging them. You work so hard, so I cooked you this special meal today, or you work so hard, so I brought you these flowers because I know how much you care for me. It's just so many ways, and it don't have to always cost money. Sometimes we do get caught up on a lot of material things, and we feel like love can only be shown by spending money or buying something material or taking you to the most expensive restaurant or buying you a car, buying you a ring. Life is not set up like that, guys and girls. It's not all about the material things, because at the end of the day, we don't know how long we got here. We don't know how long that we got for God to say, it is all said and done. This is our last day. So it's best just to enjoy every great moment and try to make the moments that are not so great better. Because That's what life is all about. It's not about the material. It's not about what the neighbors are doing. It's not about what somebody else's marriage is doing. It's not about how somebody else's relationship looks. Because I'm going to tell you now, I have learned to have enough wisdom to know everything that looks good on the outside could not be good on the inside. So don't go by what you see. You just work on your relationship and you work on how you can have a healthy relationship and don't worry about nobody else's. You do what God needs you to do and everything will fall in place. That's my opinion on that.
That is a huge sign of healthy relationships. They always have that dynamic in place, and it's important to nurture that dynamic because we need that if we're going to have happiness, fulfillment, and peace and harmony in our relationships. Now let's move on to the fifth sign of a healthy relationship. You don't allow others to interfere or dictate your relationship. Now listen, some of y'all, I know you're feeling guilty because some of you have allowed others to have a little too much say-so in your relationship, too much influence on your relationship. And I understand, listen, it's very normal for us to want to talk to friends and family about our relationships, to want to get their opinions and their input. I get it, right? But we got to be careful with that. Healthy relationships have managed that situation so much better. They can get people's opinion, but they don't let that opinion to contaminate their mind and essentially to dictate what they will do. They don't value the opinion of others over what their partner has to say. They don't let someone else or even social media guide them more than allowing themselves to at least talk to their partner first. That's what healthy relationships do. They sit down and talk to each other first. And here's the beautiful thing. If you're with the right person, sitting down and talking will solve the problem. Like you won't even need to go to other people if you just sat down and talked to your partner first. And I gave them the opportunity and yourself the opportunity to get things off your chest, to address all the concerns and to find ways to make things better. So you've got to be very careful. And since I mentioned social media, some people, and some of them might be you again, have developed a bad habit of when something's going on in the relationship, blasting it on social media, all right? And bringing all these other people into your relationship who do not belong there. You've got to resist the urge to air out your issues on social media. Even when you break up, because some of y'all will say, well, listen, I'm done with this person, so I can say what I want. And then 2 weeks later, you're back with them, right? So now you got to deal with the aftermath of you putting all your business out there and getting back with this individual. So how about we just don't do that? Social media is for other things. It's not to air out our relationship issues, all right?
In my opinion on that, if you're done with that person, the relationship is over, the marriage is over, whatever y'all decided, it didn't work, why go out and talk bad about that person? Why go out and spread rumors about that person? Why go out and talk down on that person? I'm going to tell you, all it will do is reflect back on you. You are the one being negative. You are the one saying bad things. Why don't you just move on and keep your mouth shut? You can't talk down on anybody because as soon as you go talk down on that other person that you're no longer with, you're really just airing out your business and you're really just airing out the person that you are. So be careful when you go and try to air out your bad situations and to your friends and family or co-workers or church members, because actually it'll probably get back to that person and it might not even bother that person, because to me, talk is cheap.
And so again, healthy relationships don't invite unnecessary people into it. Don't allow other people to dictate and to overly influence it. You got to be mindful of that. You got to protect your relationship in that way and learn how to try to resolve things within it first rather than going outside of it to try to find answers all the time. Now we're at the sixth sign of a healthy relationship. You don't hold grudges and you don't throw things back in each other's face. All right. That's a huge common behavior of unhealthy relationships is this need to always throw things back in the person's face. And again, that stems from the fact that the whole time you've been holding on to this. All right. You never fully forgave. You never truly resolved it. All right. You held on to this grudge. You held on to this negative energy. And now once something else happens, it comes right back up and you weaponize it as well. This is unhealthy. This is unacceptable. You cannot do that. And you have to understand that if you allow yourself to do that, all right, you are going to damage the trust of your partner. You're going to damage their willingness and ability to be able to talk to you and open up to you. And so for some of you, you may not have been the one to do it, but you've gone through it and you know how bad that feels. You know how much it hurts for your partner to do that. We have to make sure that if we want healthy relationships, we got to nip things in the bud as soon as possible. That's what allows us to not hold the grudge. Again, most people are holding the grudge because it was never properly addressed. It was never resolved. And so it lingers. And again, sometimes that lack of resolution may stem from you attempted, but your partner dismissed or, for whatever reason, it didn't get resolved, or you never even made a proper attempt. You did not even allow them the opportunity to resolve the issue with you. So we all have to do our part in making sure that we address these things, we resolve it. It's kind of like that whole, let's not go to sleep angry at each other. Because it's a great rule because it allows us to not carry the negativity of today into tomorrow. And that way we're not going to have that issue of bringing things back up because we resolved it, we left it there, we're good. So healthy relationships, don't hold grudges and don't throw things back in each other's faces. Now also, real quick, not holding a grudge also extends to not bringing things from the past that got nothing to do with them. Meaning we're bringing in old baggage. Sometimes we can have a potentially healthy relationship be derailed by the lack of health within us because we have not fully healed or their lack of health within them. But everyone needs to make sure they have healed. So listen, get your copy of the book, Love After Heartbreak. It gives you the steps to healing. It is for men and women. It has changed a lot of people's lives, to be quite honest with you. I'm not exaggerating. It's extremely helpful. It's going to give you everything that you need to release and resolve all that past trauma and hurt, not just from relationships, but from your life, parents, old friend, whatever, anything that hurts you, you're going to be able to get that out of your system, off of your spirit, so that you can be in a healthier place and truly have a healthy relationship. So click the link in the description or in the comment section or go to loveafterheartbreak.com. All right, so now let's get to number 7. And number 7 is you both understand, embrace, and pour into each other's needs. All right. So let's break that down real quick. Understand. Healthy relationships understand what their partner is needing and desiring because they talk to each other. So going back to number 1, the ability to talk to each other and express to each other our desires and needs. It's important.
Okay, when we communicate correctly and express to our loved one or our husband or our wife or our girlfriend or boyfriend what our needs are, that is very important. Lots of people, they don't realize that how can you have a healthy relationship and your partner don't even know what your needs are? You can't just fulfill their needs and your needs not be met. So this is something that needs to be brought up, talked about, and worked out. And notice the longer you're together, your needs can change. So make sure you're communicating and talking about, okay, now I like to hold hands more. I like to kiss more. I like to hug more. I like you to hold my waist. That's just something I like. I used to love it. I really love my waist held, but I always let my husband know that. But it's okay if something comes up and he can't hold my waist. It's okay because that's not a big thing for me. I like it, but now my husband, he's going through something right now where his dominant arm and hand is not, he can't feel it and can't work it. So that's okay. Then there's other needs that I have or that you might have that you need to let your partner and your spouse know. And that is important that you talk about those things. So I'm a very talkative person and my husband is not, but I can get him to talk to me. If I ask him certain questions, he'll open up to me and tell me what his needs are. No matter what they are, private needs or, quiet, our personal needs in the bedroom or physical, mental, any kind of needs. I let him know what my needs are. And I always ask him, what are your needs? Since I like this, what do you like? Even when it comes to what we eat or, the kind of groceries we pick out at the grocery store and what kind of restaurants we go to. We always try to look at each other's needs. Well, we ate that last week. What do you think about? You want to try something different this week? Do you like this? Okay, we come to an agreement of what we like. And it don't always work. I'm going to be honest. Everything is not going to be perfect, But hey, at least if you're striving to have that healthy relationship and communicate on those needs, I guarantee you it'll make a big difference in your marriage or your relationship. Build these things up while you're dating when you first meet. And please, get help to get rid of that old baggage and those past stuff that happened in the past. Don't keep bringing it up every day. Let tomorrow be that new day and leave that behind. Some of that old baggage and that old past, it destroys people's love and affection for one another.
And that you do that because don't ever assume the person should just know. All right. We've all experienced different relationships. We may have been raised differently. There's different things that can contribute to why that person may not know your love language. All right. And understand what really speaks to your heart. So we have to go through the process of building an understanding of those needs, of what that love language is, what we're looking for from each other so we can fulfill those things. Now, part 2, I said, understand and then embrace. We have to make sure we're okay with each other's needs. Listen, you may meet someone that you really like and what they're looking for and needing in a relationship, if you're honest with yourself, you can't provide it. For whatever reason, maybe you just think like there's too much or I'm just not capable, whatever. If you are unable to embrace their needs, you should not move forward. And in a healthy relationship, those two individuals have embraced each other's needs, because when you do not embrace each other's needs, it's downhill from there. Bottom line. But you don't stop at just understanding it and embracing it. Now you have to put it into action and pour into that person's needs. All right. And when two people are pouring into each other's needs, this is when you have amazing, healthy, successful relationships. And listen, when you examine relationships that have been great and then they start to go south, what you're going to notice a lot of times is they stop pouring into each other's needs. This is not something that you can just do for a temporary time. This is something that you have to continuously do. And that's why it's important that when you come to that understanding and embracing, it's not just, can I do this today? It's, am I okay? And can I embrace doing this for the long run? All right. And when we can both say yes to that, this is when we can establish and experience something beautiful and successful and healthy with these relationships, or with our relationship. Number 8 is you both have some me time. So listen, I just told you about pouring into each other's needs. And that is absolutely important, because love and relationships is about giving, all right, and being selfless and really making sure we tap into each other's needs and desires. However, everybody needs some me time, okay? Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs to recharge. Now, one thing I love to tell couples to do is to give each other a day off. All right. Especially when you got kids. Now, I know that may not always sound easy depending on all the responsibilities that you have. If you guys are already at that level of kids, you got jobs, whatever is going on in your life, right? But I do think that if you sit down and create structure, you can ensure that each of you has that day off that's just for yourself. All right. Because we all need a break sometimes. We all need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, because if we're not good to us, how will we be good to our partners? All right. If we're not making sure we have enough self-care and self-love in our lives, at some point we will not be able to be as efficient in loving and providing for our partners in the way that they need as well. So it's important that we take that time for ourselves. So again, give each other a day off. Make some time. And if it's not a full day, maybe it's a block of time where you and your partner get to just have your space, chill. Now, some people may say, well, I don't want any space. I love my partner. We're great. And that's beautiful. I still think it would be good to have a little me time. I think it will be healthy for both of you. All right. And listen, what's popping in my mind is sometimes, listen, I'm not saying you need to miss each other as in create huge separation. But again, I just think that time to yourselves is very good and very healthy for the relationship.
That is very important. We get in these relationships and we tend to forget about ourselves. I know how God have me as a person. I pour into everybody. I want to be there for everybody and do for everybody. And I never really pour into myself. So everybody needs some me time. Not saying I need to go away for 2 weeks. No, I can't do that. You know, my husband needs me. He's disabled and I need him. So just like Stephen Speaks said, if it's just for a few hours, you know, sometimes I might go out to eat with my family, my sisters, or go shopping with my sisters. I'm saying my sisters because that's who I would hang with the most. Or, you know, if I did something with my grandkids or whatever, just took time just for me. Lots of people, as far as women, they go and get their nails done, their toes done, they go get their hair fixed, they go get a massage or a makeover, and men go get their toes done, and they get cared for and get massages too. Or they might want to go hang out with the guys. You know, the guys are having a football night or basketball night. The playoffs are on. And, you know, everybody needs a little me time. Or even if you just need that time for yourself. Sometimes we need to just get alone, meditate, and talk to God. And just having that time to get an intimate relationship with the Lord, when we come back, it can make us closer to our partners. So don't let anybody tell you that you don't need any me time. And that's where trust, love, care, and all that comes in. Please get your self-care and please take care of you. You are important. And if you want a healthy relationship, it's time to put some of your needs first in your life too. Take time for yourself.
The ninth sign that you have a healthy relationship is that you enjoy each other's presence and spending time with each other. Now, listen, what I really want to highlight in this point is enjoying each other's presence means you can enjoy each other and you're not having sex. Okay? I think that's very important to understand because, yes, some of you have a great time for each other being intimate and sexual and all these things, right? But can you really enjoy each other when that's removed? Can you enjoy each other when there aren't other distractions involved? Like if you guys are like, oh yeah, we have a great time together, but when I observe you, you're both on your phone all damn day. You're both talking to other people. Yeah, you might be hanging around each other, but you guys don't really engage with each other. So being able to enjoy each other's presence is when it's just you and your partner nothing else, no other distractions, and you guys are still having fun, or you still enjoy them being there, all right? Again, it doesn't mean every hour of the day we have to be engaging with each other, but we have to real or know and be sure that that dynamic exists here, all right? And part of that dynamic existing comes with establishing a foundation of friendship. When we have a foundation of friendship and we really like each other at our core, this is what we need to have a successful relationship in the long run. This is what is extremely necessary. So you want to make sure that you truly get along with your partner, enjoy their presence, have that friendship dynamic there, because that's what healthy relationships all have. Number 10, or the 10th sign that you are in a healthy relationship is that you trust each other. Now listen, without trust, there is no relationship. And we have to have at least a good, strong foundation of trusting each other. But I want to be honest with you. I'm not someone who necessarily believes in you have to give this 100% trust. Because I think if we're honest with each other, we can understand that as human beings, we are all flawed. We are all capable of making mistakes and possibly even doing something shady, all right? Though you may not see that as a possibility for yourself right now, it is possible, because that is what being human is. That's part of the human experience, all right? We're just flawed in that way. And so, though I don't necessarily believe in this 100% trust, I don't believe in operating in distrust. I don't believe that I have to sit there and worry about you maybe doing this and doing that. No, I think that we have to have a level of, okay, give this person the opportunity to show you that they are loyal and faithful to you. Give this person the opportunity to show you that you can rely on them. Give this person the opportunity to show you that they are a trustworthy person. But don't put the expectation of perfection on anyone, because that's just not realistic. And I think that that's where we set ourselves up for so much a harder level of disappointment. Like, well, to me, because I understand that anyone may fall short at any time.
That is very honestly true. You can't put 100% trust in anyone. Nobody's perfect. A lot of people say, well, they go to church where they know God. Well, you know what? They're still not perfect. They still make mistakes. So don't put 100% of trust in anyone, but it hurts if someone bashes you about trust. If they constantly say that, if they just constantly have distrust in you, that can really damage a relationship. You gotta have some trust. Now, if you see nothing has happened, nobody has did anything wrong, why would you have a reason not to trust anybody? You can't not trust me because of a past relationship where the trust was broken. Give me the chance. Trust me. People can forgive. People heal. People move on. Look at me. Watch me. Watch your partner. If they don't give you a reason not to trust them, give them some trust. Give them a little bit of space so you can see that they love you and only you, and you can trust them.
When that time comes, I'm not saying it wouldn't hurt, but it doesn't devastate me to the same degree it might someone else who has put this individual on such a high pedestal of thinking they could never do any wrong. And now when wrong happens, and the case could be made that wrong is inevitable in various ways, not saying like every person will cheat or every person will do this horrific thing, but it is very likely your partner at some point is going to hurt you in some way, all right? Again, not maliciously, not blatantly, just it could be a genuine mistake, but the hurt will come. And when you understand that because they're human, that will happen sometimes, it becomes easier to take that punch and to keep things going and to come to the table and sit down and talk to each other, grow, learn from the mistakes and grow from them, and also be able to see it as that, a mistake, rather than, oh my gosh, this means you're just horrible and I can't trust you at all. No, listen, I've seen people throw away the whole amazing relationship based off of that one genuine mistake. Now, again, some situations aren't mistake. They are a symptom of a bigger problem that needs to be addressed, or a bigger problem that says this ain't the person for you. But in other cases, sometimes it really was just that. A mistake that can be corrected and fixed.
That is right. There are mistakes that can be corrected and fixed. We just have to sit down, come to the point. This is who I love. This is who I choose. And I'm going to put God first, and we're going to work through this. I'm going to keep my man. I'm going to keep my woman. And we're going to work through this. With Christ, all things are possible. Pray, believe, and by faith, you don't walk away from goodness. Because the world is so bitter, you just can't find goodness everywhere. And if you got somebody that's good to you and you just got some little things you need to work on, you best not to walk away.
So when I say we trust each other in healthy relationships, we trust, but we also understand we're human, and we've got to always be willing to, again, address issues and also evaluate the bigger picture here, because mistakes will be made. All right. But if we have the right relationship, or we're with the right person, then we can overcome anything that comes our way. Now let's get to number 11. And number 11 is you consider each other when making big decisions. All right. Healthy relationships are not two people who get so consumed with their independence that they disregard how their partner feels about things. Healthy relationships understand the need for interdependence, the need to lean on each other, the need to talk to each other, the need to consider how my partner feels. How will this decision impact the relationship and my partner? I can't just say, oh, well, this is what I want to do, so they have to just accept it. That's not healthy at all. And it undermines your partner. It creates division. It creates resentment. Think about how you would feel if your partner makes a big decision and doesn't even consider you in making that decision. That hurts. So healthy couples understand the need to come together. Again, it doesn't mean we will always see eye to eye, but we have to at least consider how the other feels and attempt to come to a middle ground, attempt to come to a resolution. And some situations that may not always be possible, but when someone can show you that they at least think about you and aren't just going to flat out dismiss you, that helps strengthen things, and that helps bring a lot of peace to a relationship. So again, healthy relationships consider each other's feelings. And now the last sign of a healthy relationship, and to be honest with you, I got a lot more I can mention, but I'm gonna leave that for a different video. I'm gonna add some extra signs somewhere else. But let's just give you the 12th sign that you're in a healthy relationship is when you make each other better. At the end of the day, you cannot convince me you're in a healthy relationship when I see the deterioration of your spirit, when I see constant stress, when I see two people or one person who isn't growing at all. All right. Healthy relationships breed growth and evolution in each other. They breed this desire and this inspiration to be better, not just for ourselves, but for each other. And so it brings out the best in us. All right. And we have to recognize that, because I see so many people try to give a pass to a relationship that is essentially destroying you and essentially pulling you away from your better self. That's not okay. That's not acceptable. So we've got to make sure that we only embrace a partner who brings out the best in us, and we bring out the best in them. And that's when we have not just a healthy relationship, but a successful, amazing, fulfilling relationship. Without trust, the relationship will fail. But you have...
Okay. Always consider each other's feelings and needs. We all have feelings. Women do think that they're strong, they don't have feelings. I can say what I want to them. I can do what I want to them. No, we can't. A man has feelings just as well as a woman. So we have to be careful how we treat each other. We got to be respectful at all times. And as long as you got respect, you know how to treat your partner. And a relationship should grow. Like what I did 3 years ago, now I'm more mature, and now I know that that don't work for our relationship like it used to 3 years ago. So now I'm in a different place. So I know what works now, and I know what might tick my husband off, or what he know what might tick his wife off. So what we're gonna do, we don't grow past that, and we know how to treat each other, and we know when it's something that get into somebody's feelings. So we work together and we grow together to make a healthy relationship. And then it is best to be honest. When we do make mistakes, we need to be honest. We need to talk them out. We need to work them out. And we need to come to some type of conclusions. Everything don't mean it's over. I've seen so many nice marriages and relationships end for little things, for material things, for things that don't even matter. Life is bigger than that. Love is bigger than that. And if you think you're going to go out there and you're going to get better, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to get out there in the real world, and there's nothing out there but trouble. Nothing out there but way worse than what you have. Don't throw your blessings out the door. Be careful before you end things with a good man or a good woman. Be careful. Just bring out the best in each other and put God first, and God will take care of you both. I really enjoyed you guys being here today. I really need you guys to go like, subscribe, and I want you guys to comment. And please subscribe to Kuniques Insights. I'm so glad that you're here today, and we will have more relationship videos, and I will be doing a lot more reaction to these videos with my opinions and my thoughts and the things that I've seen and been through in my life. But one thing I really need you guys to do before you're done here today is go down to the comment section. If you like this video, put just a heart down there, or send me a flower, or send me a comment, the best part you liked about it, or ask me a question about something I think about relationships. And I'll try to get as many answered as I can on a video. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys soon.